Hello, everybody. Oh, she didn't forget what's up. Hi, guys. I'm sorry. It's been a minute. So I'm home from the hospital, pumped up on prednisone. Lots of it. Yes, I know. Oh, sorry, I only got 2 out. That'll be 3 right there. So just a real quick recap of what happened. I caught a virus, respiratory virus, and it triggered some hyperimmune response that the infection wasn't in the airways. It's in the surrounding tissue around the airways that is inflamed and choking off the little air sacs and not allowing them to take in oxygen. So the day that I went in, when I woke up that morning, my lips were blue, purple, and I got kind of scared. So I spent the next couple hours working on packing an overnight bag because I assumed I'd be there overnight. I got all of the kitty dishes full and made sure to get Ava fed and take her out and everything because I knew she'd have to be kenneled. It's still hard to breathe, so please bear with me. And my breathing is more from my abdomen than it is from my actual lungs right now. I have like no lung capacity. I can't, walking before was a struggle, but now if I get up and I start to walk, it feels like oxygen's just choked off. So I went in to the ER. Well, first I called the non-emergency number and I said, is there any way that I can have some EMTs just evaluate me, check my blood pressure, make sure that it's not my blood pressure causing the issue, and, get an opinion from them. And so the EMTs came out and they said, we can't force you to go, but we're going to ask, do you have anyone who can stay with you? I said, no, I'm a shut-in, I'm alone. And they said, well, we don't want to leave you here alone because if something happens, you're not going to be able to call us the next time. So I agreed to go in, and I'm in the ER, and I made it very clear my dog was in a kennel. They knew my dog was in a kennel. And I asked, what can we do? They did like 4 nebulizer treatments. They did some like this breath test thing before treatment and after treatment, and there was no change. They did x-rays, and that's how they found the lining was inflamed. And the ER doctor came in and he said, I want to admit you. And I said, I understand, but is there any way that I can go home? Because my dog's in a kennel. He said, I understand. You've made that very clear. And I said, and the other thing is, I haven't been taking my pain medication because I didn't want to depress my respiratory, knowing I was already having breathing issues. So I've been afraid to take it. And he said, I'll treat your pain. Because that's not a problem. Anything that's on your chart, I'll give you. Can I admit you? And I said, but my dog. He goes, if I find someone to go to your house and care for your dog, can I admit you? Like, what do you mean? He goes, I will find someone to go to your house and take care of your dog for as long as you're in here. Will you allow me to admit you? And I'm like, if someone's going to take care of my dog, then yes. He found someone. He actually contacted the owner of Chasing Daylight Animal Shelter, who happens to be another ER doctor. She's co-founder of Chasing Daylight, and explained that I wasn't going to be admitted unless my dog was taken care of. And she had one of her employees volunteer to come care for Ava. Now, when I got out and I met the girl and everything, I compensated her for doing that, especially on an emergency notice, so it wasn't volunteer by any means. I wouldn't ever take advantage of someone like that. I was super grateful. I didn't realize how bad I was. I was severely dehydrated as well, because when you're spending all of your energy trying to breathe, you sweat a lot. I was literally just watching sweat just pour down my hair while the EMTs were taking my vitals and stuff. And when I got to the hospital, they did an IV here first, and then that occluded. They went in here. That one also that blew completely. That one completely blew out. It's hard to see on the. There we go. And then they ventured over to this arm, and they got me there. One of them had the bright idea. She wanted to go right here, and she says this spot here hardly ever occludes, which is where the rubbery piece kind of comes out, and then it twists a little, and it pinches it off, and then they have to redo the IV. They had to do that several times with me. They finally ended up in my hand, and that was the, oh no, that was not the final. That one occluded too. This one was the final one. So multiple IVs, lots of saline, steroids, lots of them. I had the most wonderful respiratory therapist. Who will be in my heart forever. He literally took about an hour or so, maybe even longer, to sit at my bedside with me and hold my hand. And he just sat there talking to me, telling me stories of his family, and dabbing the sweat off my forehead. Didn't say anything about it. Like, I was so embarrassed. He was so kind and so wonderful. But then they got it to where my O2 levels were staying up even when I was not on oxygen, even though I was still breathing abdominally and not with my lungs. They got my O2 levels to stay up. They had me walk down the hallway and back a little bit. I made it like 2 doors, but enough to show that my O2 was staying stable. And then they had to discharge me. So yeah, that was. Now I'm I'm doing the taper off of the prednisone, but I have to see my doctor on the 24th. And I've already sent an email to her saying, "Hey, please don't take me off the prednisone yet. It's not safe." I know it's not safe. I'm still struggling to breathe. Like right now, before I came live, I used my nebulizer with both the albuterol and with the ipratropium. And then I also used my steroid inhaler and my regular inhaler. So that's what I have to do just to breathe right now. The inflammation will go down, hopefully, but there is permanent scarring, and I'm always going to have to be wary of that. It sucks, but no, it wasn't RSV. They tested for COVID, influenza, RSV, hand, foot, mouth. Like, they tested for everything. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm gonna mute for just a moment. Sorry, I'm using the hospital Kleenexes. Like, I mean, hey, they were gonna throw them out, but there's not much to them. So I'm sorry, I don't even know what that looked like. It probably looked awful. I should have turned the camera off too. But yeah. I appreciate all of the support, the messages, the calls, the concern. You guys are wonderful. And you really helped me get through it. I've got a long road to hoe. But I'm gonna do my best, and that's all I can do. So hello, C-Rex, honey. I've missed you all. Hello, Nana Laura. Hello, Linda Applegate. Hello, Eileen Carlin. Better now. Hello, Manuel. I know you're not talking to me. I know you're talking to someone else in the chat, but that just that made me giggle when I saw that. Hello, sweet home Amanda, sweetie. Hello, Buzzy Pug. It's good to see you too, sis. I appreciate that. Definitely needed them. Hello, Spider-Man. I'll go back and read the comments. I will. No, that isn't that this thing. I have this as well. I can get, what was it? Hold on. Oh, come on. Quit fooling. So I got about 1650. Okay, 15 on that one. It's I have been using it. I'm really trying to. And then I have my I call it my platypus. They call it an acapella. It's on the recliner in the other room. But it's a thing you blow into and it vibrates and it helps stimulate the lungs and helps you cough up stuff, because with the virus there was plenty of mucus, and yeah, that my lips are so split from being dehydrated. Oh, I didn't know you could dehydrate that fast, and I haven't been drinking coffee since I've been home. It's all been water. I did have a soda for lunch, but I've been drinking water a lot, as much as I can. Oh, no. I was actually worried that they were going to head for my groin, because, I mean, I know there's veins, like arteries and stuff down there, and I was like, man, they're going to run out of places up here, and they're going to head downstairs. Sorry. Hi, buddy. Squishy. I told him, I'm like, I'm left-handed. You are not putting one in my left hand. No. I've missed you. Thank you for all the wonderful messages. You are a sweet old man. I'll ruin that reputation and tell everybody you're not the grumpy old fart you claim to be. I did. I really did. I probably wouldn't be here right now if it had not been for the persistence of especially that ER doctor. And he's an animal lover. Like the nurses came in and talked to me later, and they're like, yeah, he knew you weren't budging on that. He knew that you were going to go home if you couldn't take care of your dog. The girl that they found for me was amazing. And she's since I've been home, she's come by every day at least once to take Ava out still and help lighten the load. And she helped me wash these curtains because Bandit didn't have her medication the whole time I was hospitalized. And yeah, let's just say Steam Away cleaning company is coming on Monday, and I've hired a professional team to come in and do the carpets and the baseboards because, yeah, without her medication, she has reverted. And I want to say she's almost reverted worse than she was before I put her on the medication. And yeah, that was not great to come home to. I came home. You wanna come home to a mess. Put 5 animals into a house that they're never left unattended in, and just leave them unattended for the majority of the day. I don't know where the cat litter came from, but when I came home, there was cat litter everywhere in my kitchen. My whole kitchen floor was just littered with litter. And so the first thing that I had to do when I walked in the door, not able to breathe, mind you, was sweep the kitchen floor so that I wasn't crunching when I walked. And then I had to vacuum the back hall where all of, well, not all, but where like 2 of their main litter boxes are. And yeah, and then so I come into the studio and discover that it reeks of cat urine, and all 4 cats are in here. Bandit's in the window, but Bandit's half out the window, like her tiny little body. Half of it's out the window and half of it's in. The screen was on the ground outside. I don't know how how none of them jumped out. Maybe they were scared of Bandit. She was guarding it. I don't know. They knocked the screen out of the window. They were happy as clams. I've had like stink bugs and spiders and flying things that Earl has been catching for me. He's great at that. Yeah. They went nuts without me here. They worked hard. They worked hard. Yeah, she was teasing me. No, well, I haven't been to my parents for weeks. I've been in too much pain. I haven't been able to go for weeks. No, my mom had the same thing. She died from it, but she lived with it for years. The initial onset of it is from exposure to mold, and I've talked many times of how there's a lot of mold in my parents' house, and Kendra and I were, aside from my parents, Kendra and I were in there the longest. So we've been exposed to whatever this is. It's some kind of pneumonia that's permanent, but it's in the lining around the airways, not in the airways themselves. So they can't treat it like typical asthma. And by the time you know you have it, it's already done significant damage. So yeah, unless I can get a lung transplant, which, there ain't no way that that's going to happen. I'm just going to have to learn to live with it and do my best to strengthen my lungs any other way that I can. Oh, thank you so much, sweetie. I love you. I wish all of you did. Man, we would have had a party. Hello, Lisette Panette, honey. Good to see you. Oh man. I hope you're okay. Oh, so do I. They're the best. That must be what it was. But their protest made things worse for their woman. There is Billy O.T., Tiny Kitten Esquire, Earl Grey the cat, and Bandit. Hello, Mortimer Duke, honey. Well, the mold is in the basement of the house and traveled through the furnace vents that we breathed in every day. I mean, and I've got so many of my parents' uh, antiques and belongings and stuff in the basement that are not gone through yet. Even the thing is when I when the probate matters are done and I can actually, like sell or auction or whatever the stuff, um, I'm gonna have to mask before I can handle it because everything's tainted in a way. Anything that was in the basement, um, and then I'll have to have I'll have to have like an auction team come in and actually do it for me. I'm not gonna be able to carry any of that stuff. There's thousands, and I am not exaggerating, thousands of crochet magazines and books. My mom spent hundreds of thousands of dollars over her lifetime collecting crochet books and vintage crochet books and printing off patterns and making her own crochet books. And yeah, my mom was a master crocheter. She could make anything. And she had bookshelves to prove it. Lots of them. I don't even have all of them out of that house. Um, it was her retirement plan. She always used to say, when I die, some of these are worth, $50, $60 a piece. So when I die, sell them piece by piece and you'll make $1 million. Well, that's great if you have time to catalog and list and do all that. I don't have that time or ability. So that's another thing that's gonna have to figure out. Yeah, always. Well, I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be a life change for me. I'm very susceptible. I mean, I might get back to a point where like the tissue isn't inflamed and I can breathe just fine and everything, but I'll always have to be mindful because all of this came on because I caught that virus from my neighbor. And it felt like razor blades in my chest and throat. It did. The virus itself is awful. And when I went in, I was the only person on the wing. Like I was the only one there. And like one of the nurses had made a comment, because something like my meds were late or something, and she's like, "I'm sorry it took so long. You're the only one on this side of the building, so I think you're getting forgotten." And I'm like, "It's okay, not a big deal. If I need something, I got a button. I'm good." And so um, the next day, uh, when they were checking me out, they said, "Well, I'm sure you've heard we have a full house." I'm like, "We had an empty house yesterday." And she's like, "No, it's a full house today, and everybody's in with this crud that you've got, without the extra complications, but the same crud." So yeah, but I did I took time today and I did put together some court for us to watch, just like old times. So we can do that. Oh, thank you so much, sweetie. I love you. I not gonna be as talkative in the streams probably. I'll probably type my obnoxious responses more than anything, because I am really starting to struggle right now. So I'm gonna put that on, and I'm gonna take a big attempt at a yawn, and we'll go from there. But I am really glad to be back, and I am really super grateful for all of you. You guys are amazing. And you tell Cherie I said, meow. Oh, Earl was hilarious. So I'm sitting here trying to edit to get something for tonight. And Earl comes in and he's just would not take no for an answer. He was meow, meow, and he was patting at my leg and trying to get my attention. And finally I did the holy buckets, buddy. Thank you so much. Thank you. But so I got up and I did the show me, and I followed his little butt around, and as I trailed behind him, every time he'd meow, I would meow back at him, and got to the kitchen, and he's just, kind of like, hey, do you see it? Do you see it? And I'm, what the hell are you trying to show me, dude? And he takes me back where his cat tree is, and he sits at the base of his cat tree, and he's meowing around and around, and I have no idea still. So I pet him, and I'm shaking him up a little, and I'm like, what do you need, buds? Like, tell me. And he jumped up to the top of his cat tree, and all of a sudden I see him swat at the ceiling, and then I see him start like chasing something. There was, I mean, not big, but not small spider that I couldn't see because it was the same color as my baseboard, and then it's like crawling, and he's trying to catch it, and he gets his little paw on it, and then it gets out, and then it drops down, and I'm watching it, and making sure it doesn't get away, but I'm gonna let Earl catch it because it's his favorite thing. Catching flies and spiders and bugs of any kind. Earl loves it. He'll catch them and he'll eat them, and whatever it's protein, I don't care. That's what he would do if he was in the wild. And so he finally chases this thing down to where, like, it's in the little like shadow box where the cats would go in and stuff, and it crawled under a little pillow, and I'm like, okay, buddy, like, I'm not playing this game anymore if you're not getting it, and all of a sudden the spider like crawled out and went down onto the floor, and that was like, I was done. I squished it, and Earl comes like running up. He jumped off the catch, and he's like running up, and he's like looking for it. And when you squish a spider, it practically disappears. And I think he eventually must have found it because it looked like he was licking something off the carpet. I don't know, but oh my gosh, he's hilarious. He's so funny. I love him so much. Miss Muffet. But didn't she sit on a tuffet eating her curds and whey? I don't have any curds or whey. Yes, they do, and they're adorable with tiny little water droplets on their heads. Might have been. It might have been. All right, guys. I love you. I really do.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
The court as well. Thank you for asking. This is case number 25, B like Berkeley E 00171. It is people of the city of Berkeley versus Teresa Diane Metcalf. That's you.
Yes.
Ms. Metcalf, welcome to the 44th District Court. This is the date and time for your informal hearing. An informal hearing is civil in nature. These are not criminal matters. Nobody's going to jail today on this traffic ticket. However, it's considered serious enough that Sergeant Smith did issue the citation on the date in question. That was January 12th this year at 9:30 in the morning. You were operating in 2007 Chevrolet white in color on Woodward Avenue M1 at or near Webster in the city of Berkeley, and you were operating that vehicle while also operating a mobile electronic device. The sergeant's remark indicates phone in hand as patrol passed. Respondent, Ms. Metcalf, indicates she was door dashing. So with that, today is your day in court, Ms. Metcalf. This is a 0-point violation, but you do have 3 rights from which you must select in the protection of your hearing. You may admit responsibility in this matter. The court will attach a finding that will close up the case. You can admit responsibility with an explanation that you believe mitigates your circumstances, or you can deny responsibility. We'll swear the parties and take testimony, and then the court will make a call of responsible or not responsible based upon the civil burden of proof, which is known as the featherweight test or a preponderance of the evidence. So as to violation of Michigan hands-free, driving while operating or holding a mobile device, do you wish to admit and explain, or deny responsibility?
Deny responsibility.
Very well. Please raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give before this court shall be the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Please proceed, Sergeant, and then it will be your turn, Ms. Metcalf.
Your Honor, on the 12th of this year, or January, I was northbound on Woodward, approaching Webster. I also noticed the vehicle that was next to me. It was a white Chevy Impala. I'm sorry. Yes, a white Chevy Impala. The lone occupant was Miss Metcalf. She was the driver of the vehicle. She had a cell phone in clear view in her hand while operating the motor vehicle. When I stopped her for this violation, she admitted that she was using the phone to DoorDash. She needed it for the DoorDash purposes. And I explained Michigan's mobile device law and issued the violation for the same.
Thank you very much. Is there anything further you wish the court to know?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Metcalf, it's your turn. What would you like the court to know?
Yes. Good morning, Sergeant Smith. Of course, my name is Teresa Metcalf. I am in court today because, for one, I did not have the phone in my hand. What happened was I was taking the phone, and you know the little cup you hold inside your car, I was putting it there. He said that I was dashing. He came up to the car, asked me for all my information, which I gave him. At that time, he asked me, what was I doing? I said, dashing. I didn't say I was dashing at that time. He also told him that me and my friend are going to dash. He put on my ticket as I was dashing using the phone. And I was not using the phone to dash. I told him that me and my friend are meeting up at McDonald's, have a McDonald's, and then we are going to dash. He also asked me, well, let me see your phone. He looked at my phone. My friend Carvetta's name was on the phone. So had I been dashing, a map or something would have been on my phone, or I would be holding my phone and he would see the dash information. That was not the case. So at that time, of course, I was nervous. I was upset because I haven't had a ticket. I can't even begin to tell you. I don't have no points on my record. So I know the law as far as you cannot hold the phone while you dash or talk or anything. Normally what I do is I keep my phone in the little cubby hole because I know the law. You cannot. I'm always on my kids with that same thing. However, they do the same thing. I cannot stop them. But for myself, me, I have always abided by the law. I also have one of those dash things where you put your phone up. I do dash, but because of I dash, I have my phone up putting a little thing on the dash, you know, the thing that sticks on the dash. That's normally where I have my phone. We had just pulled out from the gas station. My friend was behind me, told me that the police officer is on the side of me. I knew that.
Wait, did she tell you the police officers on the side of you on your phone? Like a phone call? And I think there we go. My internet froze for just a second. But yeah. My friend was behind me and she tells me that there's an officer beside me, so I knew there was an officer beside. How did your friend behind you tell you? Was it with your phone that you weren't supposed to be on?
I didn't feel that I was doing anything wrong. Otherwise, I would have hurried up, put my phone up, but I didn't have no need to do that because I wasn't dashing. When he approached my car, he told me, "What was you doing?" I say dashing. And I'm wondering, for one, why is he pulling me over? So of course I'm nervous, I'm upset. And at that time I told him I was dashing. He said, "You dashing?" And I informed him, yes. I was not dashing at that time. And if I was, he would have never seen what, I don't know if he has the right to ask me who's on my phone, but he did. I showed him, he asked me where my phone was, I showed it to him. He seen my friend's name on there. However, he took my license, went to the back, wrote me a ticket. On this ticket, it says Dashin used the phone. That was not the case. I was putting my phone in a little cubby hole. I'm not denying I didn't have my phone in the hand, but I was not dashing. I had my phone in the hand. I put it on charger and put it in the cubby hole. I guess if I was hurrying up or doing anything or rushing, I would have probably been like, "Oh yeah, let me hurry up." But I didn't think I was doing nothing by putting. We just pulled off from the gas station, so I didn't think. I knew he was on the side of me. I already knew that, and my friend that was going to have the McDonald's sandwiches, she was behind me. So if I had anything of trying to rush or I thought I was doing something wrong, I would have been hurrying up and trying to put the phone. I wasn't. I knew he was on the side of me. So,
Okay. I want to make sure that the court understands your testimony clearly. So you believe that because you were not dashing and you only touch your phone to put it in the cup holder, you're not responsible legally for violating Michigan hands-free. Is that your testimony?
well, I know the law as far as you not having the phone and you can't have it in your hand and all of this, you can't have it on the seat or whatever. I know that. But as I'm pulling up for the gas station, I'm literally touching the phone and putting it in the cubby hole. If I thought I was doing something wrong, I already knew he was next to me. I seen him. When we seen him when we was pulling out, we seen him back away. So when I'm like, what? I was actually nervous. And so when I pulled off, I was so nervous and upset to when we got to McDonald's, I went ahead and looked at the ticket and I'm like, dashing. I told him I was about to go dash. I told him who I was going with. He looked at my phone because he asked me and took all my information. And then he came back with this ticket.
Thank you. I appreciate the professional manner in which you presented your case. Is there anything else you want the court to know?
No, that would be it. I'm just here to explain my story.
Okay. And Sergeant Smith, rebuttal testimony, please.
Nothing to add, Your Honor.
Yeah, he doesn't need to add anything because she said it all. I was dashing. I told him I was dashing, but I wasn't dashing. But I was dashing. We were gonna dash, but then we didn't dash yet. But you know,
Before the court makes a finding in any potential sanction, the court does note that it never looks at a driving record unless and until it is made relevant by the testimony of the respondent. And in fact, this would not be an enhanced or second offense due to the fact that Ms. Metcalf's driving record is exceedingly clean. With that said, however, the law in play, which is Michigan Compile Law 257.602B of the Motor Vehicle Code, indicates that except as otherwise provided in this section, an individual shall not hold or use a mobile electronic device while operating a motor vehicle. This subsection does not apply to an individual operating a commercial vehicle or a school bus. So while the court believes that it understands the respondent's suggestion that dashing versus not dashing might be germane, that is not relevant to the finding with respect to the law. The remarks on the ticket are actually included for the benefit of both the motorist and the officer as well as the court, but they are not evidence. They simply provide context. In this regard, the court is going to find Ms. Metcalf responsible. And the fine for this is historically $220. The court sees fit under all these circumstances to reduce that to $120. That is payable through the pay portal on the 44th District Court website. Ms. Metcalf, or you can walk a cash check or charge into this court, 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday to Friday between 8:30 and 4:30. That's due within 7 days. If you wish to appeal this ruling, you may do so by posting a cash bond of $120 within 7 days. The matter will be placed on the docket of the chief judge of the district, and at that time, the city of Berkeley would be represented by City Prosecutor Dan Chris. So $120 within 7, and that completes your hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a blessed day.
Was well.
Mr. Kozak's here. 250039007, the people of the state of Michigan versus William Corbin.
Good morning, Your Honor. Kyle Peskulovich appearing on behalf of people.
Scott Kozak on behalf of Mr. Corbin.
All right, and Mr. Corbin, could you please state your full name for the record?
Jamar Corbin. Can you hear me, ma'am?
I can. Are you still using a mailing address on East Flint Street in Port Huron?
Yes, ma'am.
And just for purposes of today's court date, are you agreeing to appear remotely from the jail?
Couldn't hear you because I got people talking outside. What you say, ma'am?
I just said for purposes of just today's hearing, are you comfortable or agreeing to appear remotely using Zoom from the jail?
I'm so sorry about that. I couldn't hear you because I got people out here talking.
The connection is poor from the jail right now. Your Honor. I think he's getting every other word.
Mr. Corbin, are you okay if we continue to proceed on Zoom today?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you now.
Okay, all right, great. Did you have a chance to speak with him despite the connection issues?
I did, Your Honor. And although we could go through every piece of information, I will inform the court that I did try to visit with you yesterday, but the smart jail system is a little spotty right now. So I did have a chance to speak to him, get some initial information from him. I do have the initial written discovery. I'm going to ask counsel, and I'll contact him separately regarding any kind of media, audio or visual materials that may be available. So maybe Mr. Peskulovich can provide that in due course. We're going to ask the court to leave it on for the exam date for next Thursday. And so I think you proceed on that date.
All right, so no need to discuss a time waiver. We have an examination date set for you already, sir. It's set in the afternoon next week on Thursday, the 18th. we could begin the examination on that date, which is a right that you are entitled to exercise, to ask us to begin that hearing within 21 days of your arraignment. So we'll keep the date. Your attorney is going to continue to work with the prosecutor to get any and all discovery that may be appropriate to review for your exam. And I'll make sure that if you do remain in custody for the next week and you're there on the date that we're going to have the exam, that you're brought over in person to participate in the proceedings. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am. Can I say something?
But hold on.
Well, then, let Mr. Kozak try to address any issues you may have talked about before you place anything on the record. Is that all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, my client asked me to address this bond. It is currently a 10,000 cash surety bond. I do not believe there's a 10% provision. My client asked me to ask the court to consider a personal bond. I do not believe he was on probation or parole at the time or any kind of bond conditions as far as I know. He's indicated that he wasn't. I know this is an alleged third domestic violence offense. The client does have some other records to speak of some time ago. That being said, he does have a permanent residence with his mother in Port Huron. That's the address that the court has. He's provided me with a phone number to reach him. He also indicates that yes, does have potential employment while he's living there, and I think the distance would provide the complainant witness with a margin of safety. I do not believe if the court were to amend to a personal bond that he would be a continued danger to the community. At least.
And I can go back to work.
Okay. Is there a position that the people are going to take on this request?
Yes, Your Honor, people would object to any modification of bond. I believe the defendant's a public safety risk. This case involves allegations of a bystander calling the police because they saw a defendant in public striking female victim. When police arrived, they saw the defendant allegedly standing over the victim as if he was about to strike her again. Victim had to be transported to the local hospital for her injuries that she sustained. And the victim reports to police that the defendant and her lived in a hotel or motel and panhandled for the last 8 months. So I have concerns regarding one, public safety, but also defendant's likelihood to return to court. If he had been spending the last 8 months panhandling and living in a motel, I don't understand how he suddenly, once incarcerated, has stable housing and work available for him.
All right. And I can tell you, although I don't have to review the magistrate's decision and determine that there was an abuse of discretion, I know that they considered the pretrial services report and recommendation that was presented at the time of the arraignment. Pretrial services did not recommended against release on personal recognizance. They cited both public safety concerns and a risk of failing to appear. There is an assaultive history. There's a lengthy history here, taking into consideration some of the sentences that were imposed on previous convictions. Almost all of it is assaultive in nature, quite frankly. And it looks like there's a recent allegation out of the 72nd District Court, domestic violence, in which your client received a jail sentence of 93 days that probably took him into just June of this year. So recently completing that jail sentence, and the listed victim in that case is unfortunately the same as the complaining witness here. There was also some verification that they attempted to do about residency and employment, and in conferring with the complaining witness, she reported that the parties are homeless and that they had been residing in and out of motels for periods of time over the last year. So I do have the same concerns, I think, that have been identified by the prosecutor. It is not the case where there is no bond. However, there is pretty significant concern about public safety, specifically as it pertains to the complaining witness. And then in addition, because I don't have the ability to confirm any of the information about stable housing or employment, I would not be inclined to make a change at this point. If you're able to document those things with the assistance of your client, you can revisit the issue when you come in next week. But based on the information that I've been able to review here, I wouldn't feel comfortable reducing the bond. I do think a significant bond is appropriate to ensure that if it's posted, I can verify the whereabouts of your client and that there's a significant enough financial obligation that he would have to the court or a surety company that would get him to return for all future court dates.
And I appreciate the consideration of the court, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Corbin, I don't want to allow you to then add to the record. I've already made my decision, but I did tell your attorney, hopefully you were able to hear me clearly, that if you're able to document some of what you're reporting about stable housing and employment, I'm going to see you next week. You can always ask me to review my own decision on bond. It is something that I am willing to change. I often consider these requests from people on cases. And if I find that there's an appropriate basis to change something that I had previously decided, I'll consider it. But I'm not going to do it today. So I'd like for you to just take this opportunity to follow back up with your attorney so you'll be prepared next week for your hearing date, okay?
Okay, so what I wanted to ask you was, ma'am, actually, I don't understand because she's not saying I did nothing.
Mr. Corbin, this is related to the case. The judge cannot answer those questions, neither can the prosecutor. This is a conversation that you and I need to have privately in the context of an attorney-client communication. So this is a question that I can't have you asking right now.
Right, and I do want to just remind you, Mr. Corbin, there is a no contact provision in place where you cannot have any type of contact with the complaining witness, Ms. Jenks in this case, and that includes telephone contact, email contact. If you remain at the Oakland County Jail, I just want to remind you that there's a very good possibility that any phone calls you're making, emails you're sending, these are reviewed by law enforcement, the prosecutions, investigators. So I just want to make sure that it's entirely clear that that no contact provision means no phone calls or emails as well. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am. I understand that. I haven't been doing that. What I don't understand is, ma'am, I'm sitting in jail and I didn't do nothing. And I don't understand. The police said I was hitting on her and I wasn't.
All right,
And I
okay,
told her I
Mr. Corbin, I don't want to have to discontinue the hearing, but I did also see a note in here that at the time of the pre-sentence investigation, they had a lot of issues. It sounds like there was a lockup issue with uncooperative behavior. I don't want this to get us to a place where there could potentially be sanctions. I would like to close the hearing today. We're going to see you in court next week. Your attorney will talk to you. I know he will make arrangements to meet with you and we'll address any additional issues next week. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I am pretty sure that there was a no contact order in place from the last time you whooped her. And I'm pretty sure that at the time he was seen standing over her, whooping her, that he was violating a no contact order. So I don't have a whole lot of faith in his ability to control himself and abide by this no contact order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Court calls case numbers 25, B like Berkeley E, 00380 and 80A. These are People versus Nikita Tarsky.
Hello, Your Honor. I'm Nikita Tarsky.
Did I pronounce your name correctly?
Yes, sir.
All right, very well. Sir, today is your informal hearing. You were present just a few minutes ago when the court explained that process, correct?
Yes.
So you understood the court instruct that you must select from one of 3 distinct options to protect your rights, correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Tarsky, the citation before the court was issued January 28th this year at about 2:30 in the morning. You were operating a 2013 Subaru Outback white in color. That was on 12 Mile Road at or near Thomas, City of Berkeley. In that place and time, you exceeded the posted speed limit by a minimum of 1 to a maximum of 5 miles over. Officer Anderson's detailed note indicates that the margin of speed was closer to 20 over, but he wrote this for 1 to 5 over. The other citation is for a violation of graduated license permit, which in the big picture is perhaps somewhat more serious. Presumably, Officer Anderson, that's because he was outside the appropriate hours and or without supervision?
Correct, Your Honor.
1 to 5 over when you were actually going 20 over, that's a gift. That's a gift that you say thank you for.
Thank you. So, Mr. Tarski, the two citations before the court are speeding 1 to 5 over and violation of graduated license permit. You may admit responsibility in these matters. You have the right to admit and explain, or you can deny responsibility. We'll swear the parties and conduct a brief trial. What would you like the court to do for you?
Your Honor, I acknowledge that I was speeding, but I would like to explain what happened.
But you have every right to do that. There are two citations, so you're also looking at a citation for graduated license scheme violation. So what did you want to do with that one?
For the me driving past 10, I actually did not know that
Okay,
I was supposed
all
to
right.
be driving.
Let me try to simplify this for you. And the court's not trying to be difficult with you. The court does this 5 days a week. And you do it maybe, hopefully, 5 times in your whole life. The court has to accept a plea. So if you believe you didn't do anything wrong on either one of these, you can say, I deny responsibility, will swear the parties under oath and take testimony. You can provide your explanation that way, or if you wish, you can take responsibility by admitting fault on these two cases and then explain.
I'd
But
take
the court does need to
responsibility.
take a plea. So which route do you want to take, sir?
I'd take responsibility, Your Honor.
Very well. So you are confirming that you were operating a motor vehicle in the city of Berkeley outside your graduated license scheme and you exceeded the posted speed limit by at least 1 mile over, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. The court is very grateful for your pleas. Now, let's continue with that explanation.
I was driving in a 45-mile zone off of Woodward
Mhm.
when I was going 49.
Mhm.
I believe the officer started pace clocking me off of Catalpa when I was going slightly over the speed limit.
Mhm.
When I reached a 30-mile-per-hour zone, the officer followed closely behind me and I crossed a yellow light. I noticed the officer accelerated quickly past a red light and got right behind me. At that moment, I believed he was about to ram me, and so I sped up out of fear for my safety.
Mhm.
I understand speeding is still a violation. I take responsibility for my actions, but I reacted because of the situation.
Mhm.
This is my first offense, and I've learned from this experience, and I respectfully ask for your consideration in possibly reducing the points in my record, as I've
Okay.
been a responsible driver up until now.
All right. The court appreciates all that.
So it was the officer's fault that you were speeding because you saw him coming up behind you and you were afraid the officer that you knew was an officer because you knew he was pacing you. You thought he was going to ram you. Interesting strategy.
Is there anything else you want the court to know?
No, sir.
All right. Officer Anderson, do you have anything you want to share? Just in some preparation for a potential suggestion, the court has pulled one of its driver improvement program notice forms. Anything you want to suggest to the court?
Your Honor, his speed was measured on 12-mile road westbound, which is a 30-mile-an-hour zone. I measured his speed at 49 miles an hour while he was westbound using the radar device in my vehicle. The violation was not written for anything that occurred on Woodward Avenue. The violation was issued for his driving behavior on 12-mile road.
Okay.
And I would, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you keep moving.
Your Honor, if I may amend this citation to 16 to 20 of the original speed, if that's a possibility. He was also in possession of marijuana as a minor, which was turned over to his grandmother guardian on scene, who took him away from there.
Okay. So you wish to make a motion to amend to 16 to 20?
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Under historical circumstances, if we were in a contested setting, that would be an option.
Understood.
But Mr. Tarski waived his right to his hearing based upon a 1-5 over. So the notice on that one stands as it does.
Oh, he got lucky. If he chose the contested hearing, he would have been screwed. But he still FAFO'd.
So the court is assuming you simply want the court to go forward with the normal sanctions. Is that right?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Tarski, big picture, you're not here for a misdemeanor possession of marijuana. Okay? You're here in traffic court. These are civil, but you could be. All right.
And Your Honor.
The court doesn't want you to incriminate yourself in any further form or fashion, but this could have gone even way worse than it did. You could have been charged with a crime. You could have been hooked up. You could have spent the night in jail. All right. So in that regard, just purely figuratively speaking, you dodged a bullet. The court is going to assess the fine of $130 on each case. That is the scheduled fine. So your total is $260. That is payable through the pay portal on the 44th District Court website, or you can walk cash, check, or charge into the 44th District Court, 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30. That's due within 14 days. And Officer Anderson, I think I heard you say that the item in question was turned over to grandmother, who appears to be the guardian.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. So that is the ruling of the court, Mr. Tarski. These are civil infractions again, but it might be in your best interest to start to make some better choices going
Yes, Your Honor.
forward. Thank you.
And yeah, the first choice that would be better for you would be shut your mouth. That's good rule of thumb.
Calling again, case number 25, be like Berkeley E 00074. This is People versus Kristen Renee Dominguez. That's you?
That's me. Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Dominguez, you were present a while ago when the court explained the informal hearing process, true?
True.
So the court instructed that you must select from one of three options to protect your own rights, correct?
Yes.
Ms. Dominguez, the citation before the court was issued on January 6th of this year at about 5 minutes of 2 in the afternoon. You were operating a 2011 Ford Fusion, white in color, on Greenfield at or near 11 Mile Road. And at that place in time, you were cited for careless driving. Officer Anderson's remark, which appears on your ticket, indicates a vehicle in turn lane southbound Greenfield for eastbound 11 Mile Road, past other motorists in northbound lanes, turning eastbound 11 Mile Road, lost control, fishtail, near accident. So those are his remarks. That is not yet evidence because it is not yet under oath, but that is the allegation. As to this ticket, you may admit responsibility. You can admit and explain, or you have every right to deny responsibility. The court will swear the parties and we will conduct a brief trial. What would you like the court to do for you?
Your Honor, if I may address the court to admitting taking responsibility for what happened, but
Okay,
also
you're fine, and you can do that, but we procedurally, while this is an informal hearing, the court is confined to remain within the rules of evidence and procedure. So the court has to do that in two pieces. So you wish to affirm that you were operating a motor vehicle in the city of Berkeley and you did drive your vehicle in a careless manner, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Court appreciates and accepts your plea. What would you like the court to know, Ms. Dominguez?
So just quickly, if I may, Your Honor, I had just got done working a 16-hour midnight shift. I had an emergency at home that I had to hurry up to, family emergency. There was a few overwhelming things going on that afternoon, and I was going on almost 24 hours of no sleep.
Let's see how many violations she will admit to in her testimony, aside from the violation she's here for.
I worked that 11 a.m. to 7 a.m. shift, that grueling day in the hospital. And anyways, I had to get home and I was very close to home. The lady in front of me was also impeding in traffic. However, she sat at a green light to go left and she sat there twice. And when it became green a third time, she still proceeded to just sit there. And while I did not act appropriately and I take full responsibility of what I did, I wanted to take the quickest way around to get away from her. And 2 days prior to that, I had hit a pothole. So my front right tire needed to go into the shop. It was safe to drive, but I think that is what made it wobbly. I had full control of my vehicle, and I understand it did not look that way. Without talking too much, I just wanted to give my side of the story. And I also had an emergency, a home emergency I had to get home to. That's it.
All right.
Thank you.
As you're probably aware, because it sounds like you're in the healthcare field.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, Your
Motor vehicle accidents account for a good deal of what emergency rooms see, as you well know. So the court understands the pressures and the frustrations. But on the other hand, we always have to remain mindfully present in the moment when we're behind the wheel of a vehicle, understanding that it's heavy, it's got horsepower, and it can damage ourselves or others. Officer Anderson, under all these circumstances, what do you like to share?
Your Honor, it was a flashing red light. She was operating the vehicle in a reckless manner, and she was given a break by me on the road, written for careless. Instead, I don't have any recommendations, Your Honor.
Very well. Under these circumstances, Ms. Dominguez, while the court cannot alter the Secretary of State consequences in this manner, it can afford you some relief with respect to the fine. So the court is going to lower that fine to $175. That's going to be payable through the pay portal on the 44th District Court website, or you can walk a cash check or charge into this court 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30. That's due within 14 days. That completes your hearing. I hope that family emergency has resolved in a healthy way. Take care.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Calling case number 25 B Lake Berkeley E00268. This is People versus Trey Donovan Mansell. Mr. Mansell, are you available?
Yeah, sorry about that. I couldn't find the unmute button. I'm here.
You're fine. See if you can sort out your camera. In the meantime, Mr. Mansell, you were present earlier when the court explained the informal hearing process, true?
True. Yes, that's
And
correct.
so you understand that you must select from one of three options to protect your rights, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Mansell, the citation before the court is a 0-point violation, does not appear on a driving record. Regardless, it was issued on January the 19th of this year at 23 minutes past 10 in the evening. You were operating a 2022 Tesla black in color on 11 Mile Road, Editor Mortensen, in the city of Berkeley. And at that place and time, you were cited for impeding traffic. The motor vehicle code situation that Officer Anderson witnessed was speeding 43 and a 30, but what he elected to do, Mr. Mansell, and what you need to be absolutely crystal clear on is that rather than writing this for 11 to 15 over the speed limit as a speeding ticket, he wrote this for the 0-point violation of impeding traffic. Regardless of that, Mr. Mansell, you do have your day in court today. You may admit responsibility in this matter. You may admit and explain, or you may deny responsibility. The court will swear the parties and we will take testimony. What would you like the court to do for you?
Admit and explain.
Very well. So you're admitting to the court that on the date in question, you were operating a motor vehicle in the city of Berkeley and in some form or fashion, you impeded traffic. Correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Court appreciates and accepts your plea. What do you want the court to know?
Well, the cause behind why I actually was going 13 over, which is a true statement, was because I was on an Uber trip. I'm an Uber driver. I had passengers in my back seat. It was very dark. And what I could vividly remember is we were stopped at a stoplight before the officer stopped me. No one was behind me initially. And before I know it, I couldn't tell that this was the officer's vehicle because it was dark, but I seen a vehicle fast approaching and basically hard stopping directly behind me while we were all at the stoplight. So I didn't know it was an officer. I just thought it was just a regular car. The headlights were very, very bright. It did draw some concern because I was wondering why they basically approached so hot, because I felt like they were going to hit my back bumper. So at that moment, I kind of scooched the car forward at the red light to kind of just indicate that you were a little close, the officer being, but at the time, like I said, I didn't know it was a police car. Then once the light turned green, I began moving at speed limit. Then again, the vehicle fast approached the back of my vehicle, not knowing that it was a police officer at the time. At this point, now I'm becoming concerned because this is the second time that I don't know if I was being rushed or they wanted me to move lanes to pass. But before I could decide to move lanes, I accelerated to give space between me and the vehicle. And the moment I accelerated is when the cops turned their lights on. So had I known it was
police officer?
yes, the police officer. The police officer turned his lights on the moment I hit the acceleration to basically create a gap in between us. So had I known it was an officer, I would have just simply just moved over. I thought it was some deranged driver who was, I don't know, just impatient. So out of concern for myself and my passengers, I wanted to create some space to get out their way, but had no idea it was a police officer. And when he pulled me over, he asked why I did so, and I explained to him the exact same thing, and that's when he issued the citation.
All right. The court has accepted your plea to the citation as it was written. Anything further, Officer Anderson?
No, Your Honor.
The fine for impeding traffic, Mr. Mansell, and again, the court cites this as 0 points, won't ever show on a driving record, is 175. So that 175 is due and payable through the pay portal on the court's website, or you can walk a cash check or charge into the 44th District Court, 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30. And that is going to be due within 14 days. That completes your hearing. And this one obviously is a ghost. This is not on your record. Always drive safely. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Officer Anderson, you are all set. The court appreciates your patience.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
You as well. The court calls case number 25RO00523. This is people of the city of Royal Oak versus Lannis Roberts Ratliff. Mr. Ratliff, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Good morning again, Mr. Ratliff. You were present earlier when the court explained the informal hearing process, true?
Yes,
So you heard the court instruct you must select from one of three options to protect your rights, correct?
yes,
Mr. Ratliff, the citation before the court was issued January 25th this year at about 10 minutes of 11. In the evening, you were operating a 2004 Chevrolet black in color on Woodward Avenue, M1 at or near 11 Mile Road in the city of Royal Oak. And at that place and time, you committed the civil infraction of straddling lanes. Officer Cole's remark, which appears on your ticket, indicates driving southbound Woodward, passing 11 Mile Road, straddling lane marker, going into other lane. Defendant said he couldn't see out of his windshield due to dirt. So the citation is for presumably Officer Cole, the straddling lanes / improper lane usage, correct?
that's what it says on the ticket.
I was asking the officer. Officer Cole?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. So, Mr. Ratliff, you have three options. You may admit responsibility in this matter. You can admit and explain, or you can deny responsibility, will swear the parties and take testimony. What would you like the court to do for you?
Well, the whole thing goes. I have a problem with the illegal lane usage switch. I was on my left hand. Hello?
I'm here, Mr.
Hello?
Ratliff. I'm just what I need you to do. Can you hear the court, sir?
Yes, I can hear it very well. Yes.
Okay. Before you really are well advised to offer an explanation, you need to make a choice. So you can either admit and explain, or if you don't think you did anything wrong, you can deny responsibility and we'll take testimony. What would you like the court to do?
I deny everything.
Very well. That is your right and your privilege. Would the parties please raise their right hands? Do you both solemnly swear the testimony you shall give before this court shall be the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Ratliff?
Yes.
Yes? Thank you very much. The officer has the burden of proof, and then it'll be your turn, sir. Go ahead, Officer Cole.
Yes, Your Honor. On January 25th, 2025, at approximately 10:50 p.m., I noticed a Chevy Tahoe black in color displaying Michigan plate ESJ 3963 driving southbound Woodward in the far left lane, passing 11 Mile, and he was straddling his lane marker. I decided to follow him and activated my vehicle's dash cam. As I was following him, he straddled into the right lane next to him without using a blinker multiple times. He was also straddling into the left shoulder. As he was straddling the lane lines, I did pull up next to him to see if he was possibly on his phone texting. As I pulled up next to him, he slammed on his brakes. Therefore, I activated my lights. The female passenger that was with him began to scream at me, saying that out of the window, saying that they were grub hubbing. So I told them out of my window to pull over. When I spoke with the defendant, the driver of the vehicle, being Lannis Ratliff, he told me that he couldn't see out of his windshield due to dirt and debris.
How is I'm Grubhubbing, I'm Ubering, I'm door dashing? How is that a defense at all for crappy driving? Sorry, I almost cussed. For crappy driving. How is that a defense? I don't care if you're Ubering or dashing or Grubhubbing when you hit me, when you swerve into my lane. Like, that makes no difference to me.
I decided to write him for straddling lanes, and I did not write him on the obstruction of windshield because I wanted to cut him a slight break. I also have this incident on dash camera if you'd like to see it, Your Honor.
If you have it queued up, that would be fine. Good morning.
Sure, give me one moment.
Sure.
Can you see my screen, sir?
You are live.
Okay. Are you seeing evidence.com?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Good to press play?
Sure.
Okay. So here's my patrol vehicle. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but his vehicle is up here where my mouse is pointed.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see up here, he was driving slower. Other vehicles were braking, and he was slowly.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
swerving
focusing
into
on the
lane.
lighter colored vehicle. Okay.
Would you like me to rewind?
Can you back us up to Trader Joe's where it started?
So it's going to be this vehicle right here. He's going over this lane marker.
Mm-hmm.
And then he swerves to the other side. And then right here, he swerves back over the right lane without using a blinker, and then goes back into his lane. I'll mute it. And then he straddles the lane again. This is when I pull up next to him to see if he's on his phone. In just a second here.
Mm-hmm.
Right here. And then as I'm pulling up next to him, he slams on his brakes. That's when I activate my overhead lights.
All right. Do you have anything further you wish the court to know before we hear from Mr. Ratliff?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ratliff, it's your turn. What do you wish the court to know?
I'm actually quite disappointed that she stopped the dash cam at that time, because I was really looking forward to seeing his female passenger, you know, pointing at her and screaming that they're Grubhubbing and, you know, leave us alone and all. I was really looking forward to that drama.
Okay, first off, I want to see that video. I can't see
Say
it
that
because I'm
again?
called. I want to see that video because I didn't get to see the video. The way I was looking at it and the way she was looking at it, we was looking at it at two different angles. She was all the way on to my right hand side, and it's like I have to do most of the stuff by memory, and it's like, wow, okay. But I just want to see the video because I had video too, because there was somebody out there videotaping her also. So she was all the way to my back right. And so I was just having a problem with how could she see me traveling the line, and she was so far back on my right hand side. And so how could she see my left side? I understand she got a video, but I would like to see the video personally. So then if it,
And the court appreciates your remark. However, today is your hearing date. All the parties are present here, ready to proceed. If you wanted to see the video, your other options would have been to be on a device that would have permitted you to see video, or you could actually come into the court and you could participate in the proceedings by being lent one of the court's iPads and participating in that fashion. Do you have any other testimony you wish the court to be aware of, Mr. Rapp?
oh no, I'm not gonna get a fair shake. I can just tell you this right now. I can tell by the way you did that. It's like I'm not gonna get a fair shake. I'm not. What I have a problem with is how could somebody be all the way over there and watch me swerve in the lane like that? That's why I have a problem.
Mr. Ratliff, because you're at the disadvantage that you don't see what the court was able to see. First of all, the court is in an entirely separate branch of government from the police department. This 44th District Court sits over the cities of both Berkeley and Royal Oak. The court is the umpire. The court calls the balls and strikes. And it's unfortunate if you think you're quote unquote not getting a fair shake when in point of fact you are. That being said, had you been here, what you might have been able to see is what the court just saw, which is the officer's vantage point displayed through the lens and captured by video. The court also makes note of the fact that traffic enforcement dates back to 1893 before they invented film. So film is not necessary, but it is a helpful tool. Any rebuttal or strike that? Anything else you want the court to know, Mr. Ratliff?
Yeah, at one point in time, long before video cameras existed, people went on the testimony of the officer, and it was typically all there was the officer's view. Granted, I am in favor of having the videos always, because you just like anything in life, you can't trust everybody. But the majority of the officers take their word over this bumbling fool. Just saying.
What about my due process?
The court just explained that to you. Anything else you want the court to know about Mr. Ratliff?
Yeah. For that view, I got a problem with it. I just have a little bit of problem with that view. I wasn't on my phone or anything like that. It's like, to just pick somebody out like that, that's questionable also, because, there's other cars. There was a lot of other cars in the pileup. It was somebody on my left-hand side also. That's why I want to see the visual, because there was somebody on my left-hand side. So when I'm coming in, they were going to my left. And so it made me kind of like move over. So it really wasn't me trying to straddle. It was like me trying to avoid off another vehicle. So it wasn't like about that I was coming in trying to swerve and all that type of stuff. You know, I'm telling you the truth. I didn't see the officer at all. And so I would have really, really straightened up. But when I looked to my left-hand side, there was another car coming in my view. So it pulled me back over to my lane. And I wasn't doing it deliberately to spark her. And as I was telling her, I said, I just turned in. I said, maybe it might have been my view of the window, but really it was the person coming through my bottom of my left-hand side. That was my only problem with it. No, I don't have no problem with the ticket, but it was like she didn't give me a chance. She was on me. She was all the way on me like, no, you didn't do this. No, you didn't do that. So I didn't want to spark an argument or anything out there because there was too many cars out there. And I was trying to pull her in by pushing my car, and she told me don't even touch the car. So I didn't move the car at all. And so it was a lot of aggression. And so I felt like backing up because that's how things go when you see a heated situation going to another boiler point. I just stopped and just, boom, left everything alone. And so it's just a lot of stuff that I felt like it wasn't right for me. It felt like I was very uncomfortable. It was like a very like a forceful situation. So I did anything. I said anything and I did anything just to get out of that situation.
Oh no. The officer made him uncomfies.
So then I wouldn't create more problem. It's not nothing against staff or anything like that. I just want to just get out the problem. But then when I finally, in hindsight, when I looked at everything and I thought about everything and I seen the other video that my girl had videoed, it was like a whole different ball game on what had happened. And then you said you seen the video, and that's why I was said, hey, if there was a way that I could have seen the video, I would have said hands down, you know, this, or no, it was a problem. You know, I'll put it on myself. But I do believe there was another car on my left-hand side coming from up under me that made me swerve off.
You mentioned that. Okay.
And I just don't want to keep on dwelling on it, but that was just my whole thing.
All right. I appreciate your remarks, Mr. Ratliff. Officer Cole, rebuttal testimony, if any.
Your Honor, you saw the video clear as day. You saw the violations, multiple violations clear as day. When I had approached him to ask why he had been straddling his lanes, he made no mention of another vehicle coming into his lane, causing him to have to swerve for safety. He told me the reason he did that is because he could hardly see out of his windshield due to dirt and debris on his windshield. I did bring up, do you think it's smart or safe to be driving if you can't see out of your windshield? And he said, well, I'm grub hubbing and I'm going to get it cleaned. So, Your Honor, other than that, I have nothing further.
Thank you very much. The court has heard the testimony of both parties. While we are in an informal hearing setting, we do obey the rules of evidence and procedure, and the court appreciates the candor of all parties. The court is convinced by the preponderance of the evidence standard, which is a mere 50.1% standard, that Mr. Ratliff is responsible for the civil infraction, and therefore the court does find Mr. Ratliff responsible. The fine for that, Mr. Ratliff, is $130. That is payable through the pay portal on the court's website, or you can walk a cash check or charge into this court, 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30. That is due within 7 days. If you wish to appeal the court's ruling, you may do so by posting a cash bond in the amount of $130 within 7. The matter will be placed on the formal hearing docket of the chief judge of the district, and the city at that time would be represented by city attorney Ryan Kaluzny. So either as a bond or a fine, $130 within 7. Thank you for your patience. Please drive safely. Have a good day. Okay. The court calls case number 25 RO00091. This is people of the city of Royal Oak versus Carla Janine Hogan. That's you?
Oh, and this one is fun.
Yes, it is.
Ms. Hogan, you were present earlier this afternoon when the court explained the informal hearing process. True?
Yes, I was.
So, Ms. Hogan, you heard the court instruct that you must select from one of three options to protect your rights, correct?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hogan, the citation before the court was written January 4th this year at about 9:17 in the morning. You were operating a 2023 Lincoln, blue in color, on Interstate 696 at or near I-75. And at that place and time, you exceeded the posted speed limit by a minimum of 26 to a maximum of 30 miles over. It is a posted 70 through there. And therefore, the citation is for 26 to 30 over. You may admit responsibility in this matter. You can admit and explain, or you can deny responsibility. The court will swear the parties and will take testimony. What would you like the court to do for you?
I would like to deny responsibility.
That is your right and your privilege. Would the
Okay.
parties please raise their right hands? You both swear the testimony you shall give before this court shall be the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Thank you very much. The officer has the burden of proof, Ms. Hogan. Then it's your turn. Officer Carr.
And on January 4th, around 9:17 in the morning, I was driving eastbound on 696 near I-75, at which time I observed a blue SUV approaching behind me at a high rate of speed. I activated the rear radar and received a speed readout of 95 and a 70, at which time I let that blue SUV pass me. I then paced the vehicle at 100 miles an hour to I-75, at which time I initiated a traffic stop and made contact with Ms. Hogan. I've been radar certified since 2004. I did the pre-shift test and the after-shift test. The radar passed both of those.
Thank you. And when you say that the rear radar was activated, so you had a steady tone and you
Yeah,
had
steady
the
audible tone and
vehicle-
visual on the vehicle. I'm sorry, I know you keep cutting out every other syllable.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, I did receive the audio tone that matches at 100 or at 95, and then I had a good visual on the blue SUV the entire time.
All right. And no indication of radio frequency interference and no vehicle obstructing the path of the cone, correct?
There was no large vehicles that would have changed her speed or mine.
Okay. And when you suggest a pace, how did you accomplish that?
I drove a lane over, but behind her at 100 to pace her at her speed.
Okay. So you were at a similar speed in the police vehicle?
Correct, in 805, correct.
All right. And do you have any reason to believe that the speedometer of that vehicle is in some way faulty?
I do not. It's certified calibrated Ford.
Okay. Anything notable about the traffic stop you want the court to be aware of before we take testimony from Ms.
There
Hogan?
was nothing out of ordinary, no.
All right, thank you. Ms. Hogan, it's your turn. What do you want this court to know?
Well, I do believe that I was going over the speed limit. It was posted at 70. I do not believe that I was going 100 miles an hour. I have received a traffic speeding ticket in the past, and my record would show I've never went 30 miles over the posted speed limit, nor have I been ticketed at 30 miles over the speed limit. I'm not sure where the officer came from. I was on my way to church that morning. I was running a little bit behind. There was traffic around me as I was driving. So in that case, that meant everybody that was driving up the road was going 100 miles an hour or 95 to 100 miles an hour. So that everybody in that sector was driving up the road should have been pulled over.
So that the court understands your testimony as clearly as it can, is it your suggestion that if the police authorities in a given jurisdiction can't pull everybody over, they shouldn't pull anybody over?
Well, I have been pulled over by an officer who pulled over 4 cars simultaneously. So I do know that that can be done. I was on my way to Lansing one day, and the sect of us that were driving were pulled over at the same time. So it's not something that can't be done.
Well, the question of the court wasn't that it can or can't be done. Do you believe that's what should happen every time more than one car is speeding?
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you. Anything further you want the court to know?
Well, however the court decides that they're going to rule in this case, I would like them to know that, well, I would literally ask for mercy in however you decide to rule in this case. I'm not you and I'm not sitting in your chair. What I can say is with the cost of everything that's going on today, I can't afford another bill. It's either going to be that or it's going to be what I decide to put on my plate tonight or this week.
Okay. Thank you. Unless there's anything further from you, Ms. Hogan, it would be time for any rebuttal testimony from Officer Carr.
Your Honor, I have nothing to add.
Okay. The court has heard the testimony of both parties in the matter of People versus Carla Janine Hogan. The court first makes the note that it has absolutely zero idea what Ms. Hogan's driving record looks like. The court judges each and every one of these matters on the merits and the merits alone at the date and time of the alleged infraction. That being said, the court also notes that the burden of proof in a civil case is a preponderance of the evidence versus what many people are familiar with from experiences either through academia or on television where there are criminal cases. This is not a criminal case and therefore does not require the heavy burden of guilt beyond a reasonable doubt to be found, but simply a preponderance of the evidence based upon both the visual observations of Officer Carr and as well the testimony with respect to the efficacy of the radar unit. The court believes that Ms. Hogan was exceeding the posted speed limit by at least 21 to 25 over, and therefore the court finds her responsible of speeding 21 to 25 over. And the fine for that is less than it had been potentially on the other matter. The fine is going to be $200. That is payable through the pay portal on the 44th District Court website. Or Ms. Hogan, you can walk a cash check or charge into this court at 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday, between 8:30 and 4:30. The court's going to mark that due within 14 days. If you want to appeal the court's ruling, you can do so by posting a cash bond in the same amount as that fine, $200 within 14. The matter gets placed on the chief judge's docket for a formal hearing, and the city would be represented by City Prosecutor Ryan Kaluzny. So 200 within 14, either as a bond or as a fine. That completes your hearing. Please be safe. Good luck to you.
Sir, can I ask, does that come with points on my record?
It does. The points
Okay,
are assigned
so
by the Secretary of State. They are not assigned by the court.
I'm going to be foiling all of Officer K's records for the last, how long? Since 2014. I want to see who he's been pulling over to the side of the road. So yeah, we'll
Very
keep
well.
going. Okay,
Good luck to you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Yeah, I figured.
It's justice being taken.
Do you know what it's going to cost her to FOIA every record in that officer's tenure? Are you kidding me? What a Karen.
Party Mark Monet, what is your name, please?
Monet Cook.
Say that again, please.
Monet Cook.
So your last name is Cook, C-O-O-K?
Yes.
Your Honor, does 9491 help you? That's the ticket number.
I'm sorry, restate that, Officer Carr.
24-9491 is the ticket number.
Oh, good grief. There we are. Thank you. Ms. Cook, can you please find a place to park your car before we conduct your hearing? We don't want anybody getting in a wreck on live television. So we'll be right with you. Thank you.
Don't have
Officer Chandler's got a few ready. When he's ready, we'll wait for Miss Cook to secure her vehicle.
Your Honor, he's here. Do we have, I'm not even gonna try the first name, Fadiora? Olumpami Fedoria?
SAD?
F.
FAD. That was removed per attorney appearance file.
Okay.
So the only other one you had was a Janae Amir Tyus, and the court does not see Ms. Tyus in the array. So let's check on Ms. Cook and see if she's made herself safe. Okay, Ms. Cook, your car is stationary?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Cook, welcome to the 44th District Court. Today's the date and time set for your informal hearing. The citation before the court is civil in nature. It suggests that on December 16th of last year at 12 minutes past 8 in the morning, you were operating a 2025 Chevrolet, black in color, on Stevenson Highway southbound at or near 4th Street in the city of Royal Oak. And at that place and time, you exceeded the posted speed limit by a minimum of 1 to a maximum of 5 miles over. Officer Carr's remark, which appears on your ticket, indicates 57 in a 35, which would be a 22 mile per hour margin of speed. But he wrote this at the time for 1 to 5 over. Regardless, Ms. Cook, you have 3 options. You may admit responsibility in this matter. You may admit and explain your circumstances, or you may deny responsibility, will swear parties and take testimony. What would you like the court to do for you today?
I don't know. I really don't even care. At this point, I'm just trying to get my baby from school.
All right. So, Miss Cook, today is your day in court. You can admit responsibility, you can admit and explain, or you have every right to deny responsibility. We will swear the parties and take testimony. It's entirely up to you.
What is the points? How many points you
Now,
give?
the court's not here to dicker with
Okay, I don't know
you.
how that works. That's why I'm asking. Like, if I just pay the ticket, how many points do I get? I don't know how that goes. That's why I'm asking the question.
This is 1 to 5 over. Is this limited access speed or surface street, Officer Carr?
Surface Street, Your Honor.
All right, so this would be 1 point and a $130 fine.
I don't want no points on my license. I just paid for the driving class. It don't matter. I guess I'll admit and pay the ticket. But
That driving class should have been an anger management course.
I'm not working, so I'll have to pay it whenever I get the money.
Well, Ms. Cook, the court's not trying to be difficult with you. And in fact, the court's trying to do everything it possibly can to make sure that you enjoy each and every right that you are entitled to with respect to your informal hearing. So do you wish to admit and explain, or deny responsibility?
Admit and explain, I guess. I don't.
All right, so you're admitting that you were operating a motor vehicle in the city of Royal Oak that date and time and exceeded the posted speed by at least 1 mile over, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. The court appreciates and accepts your plea. What would you like the court to know?
That somebody cut me off, and I sped up around them and cut them back off.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Someone was driving, and they cut me off because the person in front of them had slammed on their brakes because the light, I guess, was about to turn yellow. And in the midst of them slamming on their brakes, I went around them and sped up and cut them back off.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
No.
All right. Officer Carr, anything on your part?
No, I do not have anything to add, no.
Very well. Ms. Cook, the court's going to assess the fine of $130 that is payable through the court's pay portal, or you may walk a cash check or charge into this court, 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday, between 8:30 and 4:30. That's due within 14 days. That completes your hearing. Good luck to you.
Okay, if I don't pay it in the 14 days, then what happens?
I would call the clerk. I would call the traffic clerk at this court and see if they might grant you an extension. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I know I'm not paying it in the
Yeah, yeah, I know she's never paying it. Yeah, yeah, that's her defense, road rage.
Okay. And now, I believe you are well and truly done, Officer Carr.
I am. Thank you. Officer Chandler's here.
You bet. Calling case number 25 RO00834. This is People versus Damon LaFrance Jackson. That's you, sir?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson, is your car in park?
Yes.
Okay. You might be surprised sometimes how people would like to do their hearing while their car is rolling.
Yeah, I'm at work, so.
Okay. All right. Cool. Mr. Jackson, you were present a minute ago when the court explained the informal hearing process. True?
Yes.
So you understood the court instruct you must select from one of three options to protect your rights, correct?
Yes.
Mr. Jackson, the citation before the court was issued February 11 this year at 10 minutes of 9 in the morning. You were operating a 2018 Chevrolet white in color on Main Street at or near Pingree in the city of Royal Oak. And at that place and time, you exceeded the posted speed limit by a minimum of 1 to a maximum of 5 miles over. Officer Chandler's remark, which appears on your ticket, indicates a larger margin of speed, but what the officer did that day was write this for a simple 1 to 5 over. Regardless, Mr. Jackson, you may admit responsibility in this matter. You may admit and explain, or you have every right to deny responsibility. The court will swear the parties and we will take testimony. What would you like the court to do for you?
Deny.
Very well. Please raise your right hands, gentlemen. You both solemnly swear the testimony you shall give before this court shall be the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you very much. The officer has the burden of proof, Mr. Jackson. Then it's your turn, Officer Chandler.
Your Honor, at approximately 8:45 in the morning on February 11th of this year, 2025, I was on patrol traveling southbound on Main at or near Pingree. I observed a white Chevy Cruze with a distinct black bumper, front bumper, traveling northbound on Main near Pingree at a high rate of speed. I activated my moving front-facing opposite direction radar, received a reading of 50 in a 25. I waited for traffic to clear, made a U-turn, and started following the vehicle. I got caught at the light at Farnham, had to wait for it to cycle to green, proceeded north. I saw the Cruze turn left, west onto Austin. And within that time frame, saw it turn left. I had to clear the light at Farnham. I got up to Austin, had to wait for traffic to clear, turned left, got behind the vehicle, activated my lights, and made contact with the driver.
What, if anything, happened next?
Made contact with the driver. We went back and forth on the basis of the stop. I got his information, went back to my car, and wrote a citation for 1 to 5 over.
Okay.
And directly in the process of writing the citation, I tested the radar as well, and it passed.
All right. So it's your testimony that at the beginning and end of shift, that radar unit was in fact tested?
Yes, I tested at the beginning and at the end.
Are you certified to operate radar?
I am.
Any indication of radio frequency interference?
No.
You have no doubt that the same vehicle that had been a target vehicle of your radar unit was also the vehicle that Mr. Jackson ended up driving, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else you have? Obviously, you may say for rebuttal. Mr. Jackson, it's your turn. What would you like the court to know, sir?
So that day I was on my way to work, and basically I was maybe a block away from my job site, and I did see him pass him. He was going south, I was going north, and I look in the mirror always. I looked in the mirror, seen he did a U-turn, and by that time I pulled into my job site, which is right there at the corner. He was behind the car. They were stuck at a light, meaning there was at least 1 to 2 minutes where it was a break period to where he wasn't behind me. So meaning I grabbed all my stuff. I was really literally about to get out the car and walk into my job site. So my thing is, I wasn't speeding, but also you didn't even pull me over when I was doing like when you were saying I was doing something. Like you could have turned your lights on or anything. It was literally like a delay. I could have been all the way down the street, turned a different way or anything. Like, I literally had my car in park, car was off, everything. I'm about to get out and go to work.
Okay.
So
so that the court is certain that it understands your testimony clearly, Mr. Jackson, did the court hear you say you believe you were or were not speeding?
I wasn't speeding. I know I wasn't.
Was not speeding?
Yes.
Okay. And you had some concerns about the delay in time from the time you saw the officer until the time he actually engaged you. That concerns you?
Yes, because if I didn't have to get my tool bag and stuff out the car, I could have just walked straight into my job site. And what was he gonna do then?
Mhm.
My car was parked, car was off, key wasn't in ignition or nothing. I was literally about to walk out the door.
All right. Is there anything else you want the court to know?
No.
All right. Rebuttal testimony, Officer Chandler.
Your Honor, like I said, saw that a high rate of speed activated my radar, received an audible tone that would match approximately 50 miles an hour. I have to drive safely as well. I think if I could speak candidly, his issue was that I didn't pull him over in time, and he alluded to previous police contacts where they tend to activate their lights and sirens right away and disregard traffic signals and things like that. I waited so that I could safely proceed up Main and turn left onto Austin. Within that time frame, I reviewed my dash cam. I saw the vehicle at 8:45 and 9 seconds, flipped back around, got caught at the light. I saw through some private property across to Austin when I was north on Main at 8:45 and 59 seconds. That's when I got behind the vehicle. So within that time frame, I thought it was logical that no one else was driving, and that was the vehicle that had passed me with again. And I looked at the front of the bumper; it had a distinct black bumper.
Okay. The court has heard the testimony of both parties in People versus Damon LaFrance Jackson. The court notes first that it has absolutely zero idea what Mr. Jackson's driving record looks like. This court considers each and every one of these matters on the merits of the exact date and time only. And the court can understand some motorists are sometimes frustrated by some delay in time with respect to when the alleged infraction might have occurred and when they ultimately engage the officer. However, that can be due to any number of factors up to and including when and where the officer can safely engage the vehicle, where that officer's vehicle may be going, what direction it's heading in, et cetera, et cetera. Burden of proof in these matters is a mere preponderance of the evidence, and the court does believe that that burden of proof has been met. So at this time, Mr. Jackson, the court is finding you responsible. Speeding 1 to 5 over is a $130 fine that is payable through the pay portal on the court's website. Or Mr. Jackson, you can walk a cash check or charge into this court at 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30. That's due within 7 days. If you wish to appeal the court's ruling, I'll answer your question in a minute. Thank you. You may do so by posting a cash bond in the amount of $130 within 7. The matter will be placed upon the formal hearing docket of the chief judge of the district, and the city would be represented by city prosecutor Ryan Kaluzny. So either as a bond or a fine, $130 within 7. You had a question, Mr. Jackson?
Yes, because after I got off work and everything, I circled back around and I took a video of the light and everything just to see how long, because he was behind the car also. So I took a video of the light and everything. So with my, like I was saying, my thing is I wasn't speeding. I could have been in my job site or anything if I didn't bag.
Okay.
And like it just doesn't make sense. And if I was breaking the law, the normal police thing, you're gonna turn on your lights. Your lights is for everybody to move to the side and know that you're coming. Lights and sirens. You didn't do none of that. You turned the corner slow.
Mr. Jackson, when you're engaging in your hearing, you're to direct your remarks to the court and not directly to the witness. But keep going.
All right, I'm sorry. But yeah, when the police sirens and lights is for the civilians, everybody to know that you're coming and everything, so we can move out your way and let you have a clear path. Literally, there was a 1 to 2 minute time frame to where I could have went somewhere else. I wasn't speeding. Honestly, I don't even have the money to pay it there. I have a baby on the way. I literally could have.
Mr. Jackson, the court appreciates all your remarks. It has made very plain into the record what the appeal process is. In order to attempt to accommodate what appears to be a minor challenge financially at this moment, the court's going to mark that as due within 21 days, which is as far out as the court can place it when the matter is the result of a contested hearing. So 130 within 21, either a bond or a fine. That completes your hearing. Please drive safely. Good luck to you.
So if I want to, is there, because I like I said, I have evidence. I literally have a video recording of him.
And if you believe that this decision was achieved in some wrongful fashion, you have every right to appeal that, and you should bring that evidence with you on your formal hearing date. Good luck to you.
All right.
Individual marked DK4 Media. What is your name?
I logged in on my phone as that, but I'm David Kennedy is logged in on my laptop as well.
Say your name again, please, clearly.
David Kennedy.
David Kennedy. All right. It appears you might be in on another device as well. Which device do you wish to proceed with?
The other one is fine.
All right. We're going to remove this one from the array.
I didn't want to lose my spot. That's why I left it on this one.
All right, you're doing just fine. We had some custody matters we had to take first because of security issues. We'll get you back in front of the court in just a moment. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Hello?
Mr. Kennedy?
Yeah, I couldn't even hear you.
David J. Kennedy?
Yeah, that's me.
Very well. This is 25 RO 00492, People of the City of Royal Oak versus David Jerice Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy, you were present quite some time ago when the court explained the informal hearing process. True?
No, I wasn't present.
You weren't present? Okay. Mr.
No.
Kennedy, the citation before the court is civil in nature. It is not criminal. Nobody goes to jail today on this ticket, but it's considered serious enough that Officer Campbell did issue the citation on January the 25th this year. At 1:09 in the morning, you were operating a 2023 Mercedes-Benz black in color on Main Street at or near 11 Mile Road in the city of Royal Oak. And at that place and time, you committed the non-moving 0-point violation of impeding traffic. Officer Campbell's detailed note indicates defendant parked large Sprinter van on Main south of 11, blocking lane of travel and crosswalk, multiple cars required to change lane and go around. So this is one of those extremely rare instances where an actual alleged impeding traffic episode did occur. That being said, despite the fact that it is 0 points and non-moving, you do have 3 options to protect your rights. Mr. Kennedy, you can admit responsibility in this matter. You can admit and explain, or you can deny responsibility. We'll swear parties and take testimony. What would you like the court to do for you?
Let me explain.
Very well. So you're admitting to the court that on the date in question, you were operating a motor vehicle in the city of Royal Oak and you impeded traffic, correct?
That's what the ticket says, yes.
Well, it's not what the ticket says. This is your day in court. So the court needs you to understand you can admit and explain, or deny responsibility. If you feel as though you didn't do anything wrong, now's the time to say so, and we'll do this under oath. It's up to you.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm admitting that. I'm I'm
So you
admitting
are
that
admitting
I
that
did nothing wrong.
you did impede traffic, correct?
That I did not do nothing wrong. No.
Okay, never mind. Please raise your right hands. You both solemnly swear the testimony you shall give before this court shall be the truth, so help you God.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much. Officer Campbell has the burden. Mr. Kennedy, then it's your turn. Officer Campbell, please proceed.
I'm admitting that I didn't do nothing wrong. Nice double speak there, sir.
Yes, Your Honor, on the date and time in question, I was operating a two-man vehicle in the passenger seat. We were patrolling northbound Main Street near the 11-mile intersection. We saw a large black Sprinter van blocking the far right lane of travel on heading southbound on Main, right just south of the 11-mile intersection. It was a weekend night, so it was very busy. Multiple cars were having to stop in the middle of the intersection, having to go around them. We attempted to flash our headlights a few times at the vehicle to try to get their attention, just to tell them to move. We then activated our lights and parked behind the vehicle, and then again asked them to move. We witnessed multiple people unloading from the van. We believe it was a party van of some sort, getting them in there. He then said that he was still unloading people and wasn't able to move at that time. We then initiated a traffic stop and asked for his identification. And due to the impeding nature of the incident and how busy it was and how many cars had to go around, he was cited for impeding traffic.
Let me take a look. Main and 11. And so the vehicle was a multiple passenger vehicle. That's your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor.
So sort of like a limo bus, so to speak?
A party bus, yeah, very popular downtown. That's what it appeared to be to us.
And it was on Main Street?
Yes, it was on Main Street, not in a parking spot at all, completely blocking the far right lane of traffic and partially blocking the crosswalk for pedestrians.
During the period of time that your attention was drawn to the vehicle, were you able to see any passengers coming in or out of the vehicle?
Once we pulled behind the vehicle, we witnessed people unloading from the vehicle. I don't remember how many, but we saw a few getting out of the vehicle.
Thank you. Anything further you wish the court to know?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Kennedy, it's your turn. What's up?
Okay. This is my first time dropping off. I normally drop off multiple locations as far as like clubbing, stuff like that with the van. At this point, I noticed where there was a space in front of the club, but a little ways from the it was parking directly in front of me that is allowed. So I pulled them where I was parked at, well, pulled behind was cars that were already parked right in front of me, directly in front of me. So me blocking the lane, that is not possible because it's already parking right there. So I pull behind parked cars is what I'm trying to say. And so when I pull behind the parked cars, I told the people, we got to hurry up and unload. The club was right on the corner. The bar or whatever is right at the corner. And so I pull up. They abruptly getting out. As they abruptly getting out, the last person was getting out. It's taking a little longer than the rest of the people. And as they were getting out, I saw the lights. I was outside the car already because I was helping them unload, helping them get out because I didn't want them to fall out the car or the van. And so as I'm letting the last person out, the officer approached me, which wasn't this officer, it was another officer, and he was rudely just talking to me from the beginning. And I said, okay, I don't know what else. I asked, what do you want me to do? And it just like anything I was saying, he was very submissive. I mean, just dismissive to anything I was saying. He didn't want to hear anything I say, and basically he was just telling me, "Here, just take this ticket and just fight it in court, or just pay it." And I actually have video evidence of the actual where I was parked at.
Okay. You're welcome to share your screen if you're able to do that.
I don't know if I'll be able to do that on this laptop.
Did you need to take a minute and try to sort that out, or?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
All right. While you're handling that, just for the sake of judicial economy, As Mr. Kennedy sees to try to exhibit some evidence he wishes the court to be aware of, any rebuttal testimony, Officer Campbell?
Yes, Your Honor. I would just like to point out that the parking he's referring to, if you go a little bit more southbound on Main, there is an indented area for parking. He was not there. He was completely in the right lane of traffic, not in the parking area.
So the curb cut doesn't begin till a little
No,
bit
it begins
closer to
after where he was
seconds.
parked. So there were cars parked in front of him, but they were in the proper parking lane, whereas he was completely in the right lane of traffic, which is not parking.
Oh, well, he was just being courteous. He didn't want to actually drive over the pedestrian walkway and park there. So, you know, he just stopped short of that and blocked traffic.
Travel lane.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
That rebuttal is noted. How'd you do, Mr. Kennedy?
I'm still trying to pull it up, but I was trying to chime in on that. I understand there are parts of the street where there's indented off of the main road. That part was definitely not, because there's a Coney Island right there. Leo's Coney Island is right there. I can remember that vividly. And there's parking literally right in front of where I was parked. Literally, like I'm parked behind cars. Like
Thank
in
you.
front of
The officer already provided her rebuttal. Is there anything else in your case in chief you need the court to know, Mr. Kennedy?
other than seeing where I was exactly parked. I can show the video.
Okay. Is there anything further you want the court to know?
I was just basically just saying how dismissive the officer was. Like this officer right here, she didn't say a word at all the whole time. The other officer was just very dismissive of anything I had to say. He didn't want to hear anything I had to say. She said they flashed the lights. Of course, I was already out the vehicle, so I didn't see it. And then I saw the car when they first initially rode past, and they made a U-turn and got behind me.
Right. So I believe your suggestion is you were both legally parked, and you believe as though the not this particular officer, but another officer was short with you. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
The court has heard the testimony of both parties in People versus David Jerice Kennedy. The citation was for impeding traffic. That is a 0-point non-moving violation. The officer testified that Mr. Kennedy was the valid operator of what appears to have been some form of a passenger bus that was loading and unloading. Mr. Kennedy contends that he was validly parked. However, the officer testified that the curb cut, which the court is somewhat familiar with at 11 Mile and Main Street there, does not immediately begin at the corner of 11. The court would note that for future reference, the better option would have been simply to drive ahead a few yards, make a right on 2nd Street, and let people in and out from there, where they could, in essence, make an L on the sidewalk and walk to wherever it was they wish to go. Mr. Kennedy, the court is finding you responsible for impeding traffic. The citation comes with a $175 fine. That's
Aww, the judge is so familiar with the area that he even gave the defendant advice on where to park the next time.
payable through the pay portal on the 44th District Court website, or you can walk a cash check or charge into this court at 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30. That's due within 7 days. If you want to appeal the court's ruling, you can do that as well by posting a cash bond of $175 within 7. Matters placed on the formal hearing docket of the chief judge of the district, and the city would be represented by city prosecutor Ryan Koluzny. So $175 either as a bond or a fine within 7. Thank you for your professionalism, sir. Take care. And I think that's it for you.
That should be it for me, Your Honor.
Let's hope, right?
Yep. Have a good one.
The court calls case number 25 RO 00373. This is people of the City of Royal Oak versus Abdul Hoke. That's you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your patience, Mr. Hoke. Today's the date and time for your informal hearing. This is civil in nature. It is not criminal. Nobody goes to jail today on this ticket, but it's considered serious enough that Officer Gertler did issue it on the date in question, which was January 16 this year at about 9:30 in the evening. You were operating a 2016 Toyota black in color on 13 Mile Road, Adair Benjamin in the City of Royal Oak. And at that place in time, you committed the civil infraction of disobey a traffic signal. There's also a warning for speeding, but that is not a citation before the court. That is simply a warning. So as to your rights attendant to the disobey signal, you may admit responsibility in this matter. The court will attach the fine, then it'll close the case. You can admit responsibility with an explanation that you believe mitigates your circumstances, or you can deny responsibility. The court will swear the parties and we will take testimony. After which time the court will make a finding of responsible or not responsible based upon the civil burden of proof, which is a mere preponderance of the evidence quantified at 50.1%. So as to disobey signal, do you wish to admit and explain, or deny responsibility?
Yes, I need to deny, sir. Please.
Say that again.
I need to deny this.
Very well. Please raise your right hands. Do you both solemnly swear the testimony you shall give before this court shall be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Mr. Hope?
Yes.
Yes? Thank you. The officer has the burden of proof, sir. Then it's your turn. You can put your hand down. Officer Gertler.
Yes, Your Honor. On the listed date and time, I was operating in a fully marked patrol vehicle alone without a partner that night. I was traveling eastbound on 13 Mile, approaching the Custer area when the black Toyota passed me traveling westbound. In the right through lane, there was also a pickup truck that was in the left through lane, also traveling westbound. The black Toyota driven by the defendant here was traveling at a visibly higher rate of speed. I activated my patrol radar, receiving a target speed of 49 miles an hour in the 35 mile an hour zone. I completed a U-turn to catch up to the violator, in which point he changed lanes shortly after continuing westbound through the Crooks intersection. In front of the pickup truck, we were approaching the Benjamin light where it was yellow for obviously an extended period of time. The defendant showed no signs of braking and continued through the solid red light with about a car's length. Excuse me, the violation was captured on dash cam 2. If that's needed in this case, I just would have to bring it up.
Okay. Do you have that queued?
I have it queued, but it timed out on me, so I would have to just
All right,
reload
no
it.
worries. While you're managing that, we could take that in the form of rebuttal if we need to. Mr. Hoke, it's your turn. What do you want the court to know? Mr.
Yes,
Hoke,
sir.
it is your turn to speak to the court. What would you like the court to know?
This time, this one, my car, this my wife together. This is my wife. This emergency. This patient. This she diabetes patient. This time is problem. This my wife. This I coming this wrong, but this roaded.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're suggesting there was an ongoing medical emergency and you were trying to get your wife to a
Yes,
medical facility?
together my wife. This is problem. She is the patient, diabetes patient and blood pressure patient.
Oh my goodness. Then it is such a good thing that the officer pulled you over so that you could get your wife the medical attention she so desperately needed in that moment.
This I
Was
coming.
she in the vehicle with you?
Yes. Together.
Okay. And where were you trying to get to?
This I coming this one wrong, this one right. I understand I coming wrong this signal and a little bit speed signal I wrong coming. But my patient together, my wife is I coming emergency my home. This medicine.
Okay. The court simply wants to make sure it understands your testimony. So you're saying your wife was in the vehicle with you,
Yes,
correct?
yes, sir.
She was
Yes.
having a medical episode, but where were you trying to drive your vehicle to?
This road I coming this wrong this one signal a little bit 10 speed 35 and I coming maybe 40 45 40 maybe is speeding but
Right.
I coming this my medicine patient my wife this is problem but একটু আমার ইংলিশ বুঝে সামান্য কি হয় সরি তুমি আর কোন ধন্যবাদ ঘুমাই যাও সরি ওটা কি হইতেছে
Thank you. Is there anything else you want the court to know, Mr. Holt?
Yes.
Yes or no?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you. Officer Gertler, how are we doing?
Good. I do have it ready. I just have to share the screen.
Very well. Go ahead.
Sure.
All right, you're live.
All right. So this is where my cursor is, the violator vehicle there.
Okay, there we are. Okay.
Red light.
Thank you. Could you run it one more time from the viaduct back? Thank you. I appreciate that, Officer Gertler.
Actually, I can probably, let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit too. These are our old dash cams that were not very great.
So it almost looks like it reads like 3 tail lights, but I think you're referring to the vehicle ahead of the pickup truck, correct?
Yes, so the vehicle's here. Essentially what is notable in the video, which was obviously more present with regular eyesight, is that the signal had changed red. Obviously there was no indication of any sort of braking whatsoever, even at the yellow light. And that the vehicle in its entirety passed through the stop bar once the signal had turned red.
Right. Your rebuttal testimony having been taken, is there anything else, Officer Gertler, you need the court to know?
No, Your Honor.
And per your, there's an individual speaking and it's clouding up the court's record. So could we please refrain from doing that any further? Thank you. Officer Gertler, do you recall a passenger in the vehicle?
Yes, there was a female passenger. Obviously there was some sort of language barrier. He did say that his wife was having some sort of medical issue and he was trying to get her to the hospital. However, my assessment of the situation and offering the medical assistance of the great city of Royal Oak was denied, and he chose to take her on his own. That was the, I guess, justification for the advisement on the speed related factor in this case.
Okay, so it appears to be your testimony that you offered emergency transport and that offer was declined.
Yes.
Okay. Was anybody having a visible medical episode that you were able to assess based upon your training and experience?
No.
Right.
Oh, shocker. Who thinks that he actually took her to the hospital after this traffic stop was over?
Thank you. The court has heard the testimony of both parties related to City of Royal Oak versus Abdul Hoke. The burden of proof in a civil matter is a mere preponderance of the evidence, and based upon Officer Gertler's oral testimony as well as the exhibit presented, the court believes there's ample testimony in this record to find Mr. Hoke responsible. Disobeyed traffic signal is a $150 fine that is payable through the pay portal on the 44th District Court website, or Mr. Hoke can walk a cash, check, or charge into the 44th District Court of 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday between 8:30 and 4:30. That's due within 7 days. He has a right to appeal through the same mechanism. He can post a bond in the amount of $150 within 7. The matter is placed upon the chief judge's docket, and the city is represented by a city prosecutor. So $150 within 7. That completes this hearing. Thank you, Mr. Hoke. I hope your wife is feeling better.
Hello. It's been a while since I've seen you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We've got Mr. Dockery here, and this is citation 25RO00446. Mr. Dockery, you were cited back on the 22nd of January, but quarter after 2 in the afternoon, near Coolidge and Normandy, for entering an intersection on a red light and no proof of insurance. Have you taken care of the no proof of insurance ticket?
Yes, Your Honor, the next day.
Okay, so that's not here. It's not on the docket, and looking through the tickets, it's not up. So but you pay the $25?
Yes, I did. She said to leave it for this hearing date. I much rather had just paid it. Because the one that I'm here for is running the red light. That is most important to me.
Right. Are you here to admit or to deny responsibility, or to admit with an explanation?
I'm going to admit with an explanation.
Okay, and that is what, please?
Okay, when I got pulled over for this, okay, if you look at the time, I don't start work until about 3:05, which I was at work almost like 35-40 minutes or more in the parking lot. This is a daily thing. I normally get at my job at 2:10. This is so I can have a sandwich. I listen to 97.1, and I can relax a little bit before I go into work. Prior on this day, we had a bunch of ice out on the road. I have pictures I wanted to share with you of the ice dam that was probably about 300 foot from the light, considering it's like 3 or 4 houses off from that light. It didn't call, so I'm going at a rate about 35 miles an hour. Yes, and I was testing my brakes so I would not go through the light.
I thought you were sitting in the parking lot eating a sandwich. Where did your sandwich go? Now all of a sudden you're on the road and it was icy and you're testing your brakes. Dang.
I wanted to make sure that, I didn't slide into traffic or anything like that. So I was very cautious going through that way. Now over the 15 years I have traveled this road, I've been in several minor accidents because of the light, and where we turn in for our parking lot. A lot of times coming off that light, they're not expecting the brake so much. So,
Mr. Dockery, your license reflects there hasn't been a violation since 2007. There's no crash since then.
These are minor incidents.
Okay, but what I'd like you to deal with is what happened on the 22nd of January.
The officer stated that I went through a red light, and I was trying to plead my case with the court, Your Honor, that I was.
What color was the light when you went through it?
It was green, sir.
Well, you pled responsible with an explanation.
I was trying to explain the situation leading up to where I was supposed to have went through the light, sir. I use caution always with this light.
You said the light was green when you went through it?
I believe so, sir.
Green for who? You were or cross traffic?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Was the light green for you, or was it green for the cross traffic in front of you?
The officer said that they had the green light.
Well, if they had the green, you would have a red.
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor. You asked me what I thought, and I told you, I'm not.
You pled responsible with an explanation, and I asked you what your explanation was.
I made a mistake. I honestly.
Now that makes sense.
I wasn't aware that I went through it.
Is there anything you want to add to this, Officer Hendrinos?
No, the officer, like I said.
I asked him if there's anything he wanted to add to it.
Okay.
Your Honor, I was traveling eastbound on Normandy, and I was about 100 feet away from that light. It turned green, and prior to Mr. Dockery running through it, it was green. It was red for. I'm sorry, it turned red. My light turned green. I'm sorry. And my light was green for approximately 2 to 3 seconds prior to Mr. Dockery going through that intersection.
And the light has a double red as well.
Correct.
So if it's green for you for 2 or 3 seconds, it was red for him for 3 or 4 seconds.
Correct.
And he's basically admitted that he goofed.
I have nothing further.
Mr. Dockery, what's going to happen here with the Secretary of State is they're going to send you a letter that will tell you about a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to stop points from going onto your ticket. Your record reflects that you've never used that opportunity before, and this is just tailor-made for somebody like you because your record, you have no points as we sit here. This is a 3-point ticket. The class is available for people with good driving records, yours qualifies, who are cited for civil infractions 3 points or less, not including careless. So you qualify by your record, the infraction qualifies, and you can still keep the points off by participating in the program that the Secretary of State will write you about, which is a online traffic safety class. Meanwhile, this ticket is $150 that does need to be paid, but the points don't go on until you choose not to take the class. So the class isn't going to take the points off. The class is going to stop the points from going on.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
So the next letter you get from the Secretary of State is going to be good news. Now,
this is something I don't have to let my insurance company know about then, correct?
that's why you're taking the class.
All right, thank you. Okay, thank you.
That's exactly why you're taking the class. And you're still on the Blue Island Court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's where the Secretary of State's going to send the notice, and they should send it to you within, if I tell you a week, it'll be 2, but if I tell you 2, it'll be 4 days.
Okay.
But bottom line is that you don't need to do anything to initiate the process. It's automatic with the Secretary of State.
Okay.
So, so take care of the ticket here, and
okay.
The next mailing you get from the Secretary of State is going to be good news for you.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good luck to you, sir.
You too.
Thank you.
Didn't get here on time.
Your Honor, how do I stop this, or will it automatically stop? Or
I can turn it off.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The idea about sometimes where people try to push the yellow and yellow means stop, sometimes people just miss the whole darn light.
Yeah.
And to have that happen and to have the first car be a police car is extremely lucky because a non-trained driver could very well have been involved in a crash.
Oh, yeah. If they would have seen the green light and just immediately gunned it, they would have been in an accident.
Unless you sit in traffic court a couple days a week, you think green means go.
Mm-hmm.
After you've been in court for a couple days, green means think about seeing if it's safe.
Yeah, take a look around first.
Not a bad idea.
All right.
Good to see you.
You too, Your Honor. Have a good one.
You too. Mr. Mancini, do you wish to be represented by the MIDC attorney at this hearing?
Oh, yes, please.
Mr. Lynch is on his way
Okay.
online. You'll need to speak with him, so we'll put you and him in a breakout room.
Now, don't let this kid's boyish good looks fool you. He's a menace.
Okay, thank you.
The attorney that was here in the building was not the attorney that represented you in this matter originally, was it?
No, she just represented me in a Macomb case. I just bumped into her and she was gonna try to take care of it, but they just couldn't get me in time for me to use her because she had to be somewhere by 4. So, and I'm here voluntarily.
Well, I believe there's a bench warrant issued for your arrest.
Yes, that is why I came in to handle that. Because I was supposed to be sentenced for Macomb, and Camilla Barkovich, my lawyer for Macomb, seen that I had a bench warrant here, and she pushed my Macomb court date back to come and handle it. So she's the one who came and told me to turn myself in.
Mr. Lynch, an attorney who was with Mr. Mancini left the building because she had to be someplace else. She has not filed an appearance. Mr. Mancini is requesting counsel here. This is a 21 case that was gun reckless. Is on the file.
I'm sorry, did you say it's a reckless driving?
No, it had to do with a firearm reckless.
Oh, okay.
And the warrant that was issued sometime in 23. Appears to be November of 23. Failure to appear. Bench warrant. Bond was set at 10,000 cash surety or 10%. There had been
what's the
multiple
offense
hearings.
date?
Say again?
What's the offense date, Judge? I'm sorry.
The offense date goes back to 21, July 4th of 21, 2021. And the charges as to Mr. Mancini was count 2, which was reckless use of a firearm.
Is that a 1 year?
Actually, it appears to be a 90-day. And bond was continued back in 23 in October, set on the probation docket, and the defendant didn't appear in November for a hearing that was set by Judge Meineke.
Okay, so a violation of probation.
Well, I don't know that he was on probation.
You said it's on the
I was
probation.
on probation.
I arraigned him in October of 23, and at that time, all terms and conditions of defendant's probation remain in full force and effect. We set the bond at 7,500 cash surety or 10%. We reset the hearing on the probation violation. And so we'll reset the hearing on the probation violation now.
Did they forfeit that 7,500 10% bond?
I don't think he paid it.
Can I explain something real quick if I have a chance?
Go ahead.
So I had I was in Oakland County. I had a case in Macomb. I had a felony hold for a fleeing and eluding in Berkeley. Meineke was my judge again. He seen me, and they said they had a violation for me failing to appear for court on a probation violation in April, I believe. It was either February or April of 2023. So I end up seeing Meineke again, same exact judge, in October, at the end of October. Because I had the fleeing and eluding in the same thing, he said he bonded me over for circuit on the fleeing and eluding, and he said we will. He's like, I had cases in Macomb. He said, you obviously have more serious things going on. We'll speak about this matter at a different timing. We're gonna see what happens in circuit. And then my lawyer, Justin Zaid, told me they could probably run it concurrent. So I go in circuit court. Judge Cunningham, he was my judge for circuit. They didn't mention anything about this my old probation case. So basically, they put me on a new set of probation through MDOC for the fleeing and eluding. My probation officer is at the Troy probation. They never mentioned anything about me having a warrant. I never knew anything about having to come to court. Like, I thought we were past this. I didn't know if it was run concurrent. I wasn't really in understanding of what was going on with that. In Macomb cases, Camilla Barkovich, that is who represents me, last week on Wednesday, I was set to get sentenced for my cases that are going on in Macomb. I was set to get sentenced. I ended up getting probation for that as well. Well, Camilla Barkovich seen in my PSI that I had a bench warrant out here, the one I'm currently here for. And she pushed my other court date back, sentencing for Macomb, and she said, I want you to go in and take care of the bench warrant that you have in Oakland for the probation violation. And she told me to call ahead, see if you guys are doing walk-ins. I showed up today at 1 o'clock, and then I bumped into Camilla Barkovich. She happened to be for another client. She was going to represent me. They couldn't get me in time with her because she got out late, and then she ended up leaving. So
on 10/27 of 23, your violation of probation was adjourned for 30 days. Judge ordered the bond would continue. It was then reset for 11/22 of 23, and you didn't appear.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that I had a case for that.
You had to be back in court in 30 days.
No, I did not. I did not.
That's what the judge told you when you were in court. He adjourned the hearing for 30 days.
I wasn't aware of that. I bonded
You were
out.
aware you went to court and didn't have a hearing.
Well, I thought it was going to be ran concurrent through my fleeing and eluding case because it was same judge. I was bonded over to circuit, and I thought I was going to get something in the mail, a phone call, or anything. I didn't.
You did. It didn't come back from the Postal Service. It was mailed on November 2nd for a hearing on November 22nd.
I never received that, Judge, because I can't afford to get in trouble. I would have showed up if I knew the exact date I had to. I would have showed up. I would have taken care of it. The minute I found out I had a bench warrant, I'm here taking care of it, Your Honor.
When did you find out about this bench warrant?
I found out the bench warrant on Wednesday. Of
last week.
Yeah, Wednesday of last week.
Then you just told me that the minute you found out, you came to court and we're sitting 6 days later?
Oh, yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Lynch, you want some time to speak with this gentleman?
I suppose I can, Judge. I think we still need to also formally call the case, although I think we make kind of an extensive record at this point.
What more is there to say? The guy has said it all. Sure, give the attorney and the defendant a breakout room to talk sports, politics, religion. I mean, chat about the weather, because the case has been laid out quite clearly.
Okay, I'm going to recall the warrant.
I think we have to formally call the case, Judge, don't we?
I did, but I will say it again. 21-01003, people of the state of Michigan versus Kylan Jane Mancini. Mr. Lynch.
Stephen Lynch, on behalf of the defendant, for purposes of today's arraignment on the bench warrant via Zoom, consent to same. Ask the court to set aside any bench warrant. If not, previously on the record, ask the court to take judicial notice of all the statements just made by Mr. Mancini. I would normally do a breakout room, but he just provided all the information I would have obtained anyway.
Okay, we're going to recall the bench warrant. We're going to reset the violation of probation. He's going to get the notice before he leaves the building. Bond will remain at $10,000, but I am going to make it personal.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Mancini, go downstairs. I think you're upstairs, so go downstairs. Go to the counter and get the notice of hearing that they'll produce right now for you.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
This goes in his favor. Thank you, Mr. Lynch.
Thank you, Judge. Take care.
Oh my, now we get to part.
Oh my goodness. So he got a personal bond after failing to appear, after admitting he's got that fleeing and eluding case that they had to push back so he could take care of this one. Kid was a mess. Absolutely a Royal Oak mess. Oh, thank you, Joey. Thank you so much. Yeah. I bet you're right. I told you, don't let his good looks fool you. He's a menace. He looks like a teenager, you know, just a young, dumb kid, but he's a menace. All right, guys. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me. My first day back. I really appreciate it. You guys are amazing. And I missed you all. I missed every one of you so much. I love all of you. And I'm so grateful to have you all in my life. Every single one of you. Yeah, 15 minutes shy. But I can't make it more. Sorry. I need to go to sleep. Oh, Martha D, hello, sweetie. Oh my gosh, you guys are the absolute best. Hey man, there was 35 minutes of story time before I even got to start the cases. And I worked out 2 hours of cases to share with you guys to make up for lost time. Oh my gosh, you are just too amazing. Thank you. Oh, really quickly, and I know she's asleep, but I got a gift from C-Rex, and I know she's gonna watch tomorrow to see me open it. So I'm really quickly gonna open it. Because she was super, super excited about me getting it. And she said she hopes it fits. Oh wait, this is not from C-Rex. This is a needling kit. This is not from C-Rex. This is so you take like felt or fur or wool or something and you roll it into little balls, and then you take a needle and you stab it, and you can make little tiny animals. And I was going to try to make little tiny PAWFURM pets with needling. I don't know that I'd be any good at it. I wish I'd gotten it before I got put in the hospital, because then I could have had something to do at the hospital. I don't know. It looked like a cool thing. Looked like a cool idea. Yeah, so we'll see how that works out. Maybe I'll make tiny little paw pets and send them out as presents. C-Rex, sweetie, I'll find out where your package went, and unless they have a picture of delivery, because I didn't see it. This was the only thing in the mailbox. Sorry. Oh man, Afghans are a lot of work. My mama used to make them. And like some of them were so heavy, and I just couldn't imagine like having that draped across you during the summer all day long working on it. Oh, but she did all the time. Okay, guys, I love you all. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.